What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James, shoot!
.com, and we are here for what people are saying is Stephen King's best ever movie on film ever.
Yeah.
With Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary.
A new rendition.
A new rendition. Yeah. We talked about that in our review of Shazam. You could go check that out. I think remake's a bad word, but nonetheless. Pet Sematary, a movie you've never seen, right? You never went back there the day. So growing up in my household, horror movies were commonly found on VHS and usually shown to me in a very young age, being held down by my other brothers who would make me watch terrifying things. Scar me for life. Pet Sematary being at the top of the list.
Always wondered why he came out so weird.
Yeah, so that Leprechaun Chucky, you know. Chucky we also see this year, so it's like kind of like my childhood just reinvented. Pet Sematary, Chucky. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Die Hard, I think his adaptations to film have been at times really amazing. You have the movies like The Shining, which is some of the best American cinema you can find, and then you have some really rough, you know, made-for-TV stuff. But Stephen King, obviously one of the most popular, if not the popular novelist of our time. Yeah, I mean his name. I know you have like J.K. Rowling and all that, but I mean like for sure he's been some things. Yeah, and there's another author that I'm just continuing.
I think you were saying Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. Yeah.
Stephanie Meyer?
No, but I wouldn't put Stephanie Meyer as nowhere near Stephen King. Anyway.
No. Sorry.
Pet Sematary. Sometimes dead is better is the tagline of that story, because obviously things in Pet Sematary, you know, things that seem dead, kind of come to their own. And I will say, sometimes originals or remakes aren't better, unfortunately. I think that what happened here was someone watched or really enjoys the story of Pet Sematary, but just wanted to change the ending. And I think that's what this movie's biggest problem is like the first hour of the movie, maybe hour and 10 minutes, feels almost like an exact replica of what we've seen. Obviously some things are changed, focuses on characters are a bit different, but overall nothing really changes in the Pet Sematary story, which I'm sure Die Hard fans are happy to see. But then the end of the movie, it goes in really weird directions. There's a major event that happens in the movie that I don't want to spoil. But once this event happened, the movie really kind of takes a turn, and the old Pet Sematary goes in this really direct conflict way, and this movie really explores some really cool different things. Some really scary, terrifying situations that you would never think that you would be in, that aren't really explored in like the typical slasher horror movie setting. This movie kind of does some really awkward and almost kind of comedic choices to really explore some crazy ideas that's happening when you're in the case of Pet Sematary. But they also made some really dumb decisions. I thought some really generic decisions. I think the ending to me was a real just bad decision.
When you say ending, are we talking last 10 minutes like that? Or?
So the final resolution I thought was really rough, and I don't like how that was presented. John Lithgow, a great actor, legendary, I thought was okay here.
Jason Clarke?
Yeah, Jason Clarke I think is good. I think the actress who's playing his wife in this movie, whose name is escaping me, doesn't really let herself shine until the end. I think most of the movie she's just kind of there, and that really affects it because the wife of this story is really important, especially in the older version, and I think here she just kind of, everyone is so one note, it doesn't feel deep, and to me it feels like almost fan fiction of someone who just wanted to change the ending of how Pet Sematary works, or had questions about Pet Sematary and then explored those things. But it never really kind of shapes its own creativity, and this goes back to what we were talking about. Maybe I should have saved that conversation for this video, but we were recently talking about the idea of remakes, and we talked about it in the Shazam video, but bing! I think, yeah, go click that white eye. That remake is a bad word. When you say the word remake, it kind of creates this conflict that one's trying to replace the other, one's better than the other, so much. So they should do renditions.
No, you make such a good point too, because when people even mention the idea, and I'm one of these people, when people mention a new Back to the Future, I just want to knock them out.
Yeah, but a person can walk. I could walk into Hamilton this year and then watch Hamilton from original Broadway cast, and while they're the same story, they're both individual.
No, but yeah, that I've never heard it said like that, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, and I wish, and I think that's how we should start looking at things.
I like it.
But in terms of that world, you have to want to create something of your own. You know, like you have to want to take a story or a script and give it your own creativity, and it just feels like this movie just kind of went with what the original did, and is just riding off the back and not really bringing that creative force until the final like 20 minutes, and then it feels wasted.
Do I need to watch this movie?
No, I don't think so. I think, while it is creepy, I think there are some really cool moments. I think there is some really cool shots. I don't think it's something that you need to rush out and see. Maybe at home one night you're looking for something and you want to watch something scary with Ashley at the house. Maybe Pet Sematary, but I would recommend watching the original anyway.
Over the...
Yeah. Well, okay, so I will say, this isn't a spoiler, but there is a character in the movie named Zelda. And Zelda, who is not like, has nothing to do with the Pet Sematary, the actual physical Pet Sematary, which is the main focus of this movie, is the most terrifying thing in the original. And I think one of the most daunting things that I've ever gone through as an adult from something that has scared him so much since his childhood was seeing Zelda. Because like I've had this image of this character from my childhood who was like, the image of her alone just used to terrify me. She used to make my blood run cold. I used to get chilly just looking at her. And then we finally, at this movie, show Zelda, and I was just as terrified, but she's in a completely new way. So is that like the idea?
But it was also equally scary?
I wouldn't say equally, but it is very creepy. And I think
nice.
For what it was for me, it will be for some people, because that character and her situation is just so daunting to look at. But like, this is the perfect example. So what happens to that character is really, really intense in the original Pet Sematary. In this movie, it feels kind of silly and out of place, and I think that's a change that that was a change I didn't understand. It felt like a waste. But anyway, I think it's a cool way to check out the story Pet Sematary if you're not familiar. But you know, we've seen this story told many, many times. But I think the original is definitely, you know, where the money is. Even though I said we shouldn't be doing that. But what can you do? Go check out our review for Shazam, and then next week we're gonna be watching Hellboy here at AMC.
A new rendition.
A rendition of Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should make that a thing.
A different rendition.
Yeah.
Love it. Tickets will be available, and don't forget, there's a Endgame's coming up.
Big time. Big movie. You want to make sure you have your tickets, because it's going to be all here.
It's
Texas Sky.
madness, and I love it, and I can't wait.
Don't wait. It's a month away, but it'll be here before you know.
20 days, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. 20 days for 10 years, culmination of everything. What will happen?
In a perfect world, Thanos wins again.
We saw the first Avengers together, and we are possibly gonna watch the last of the Avengers together.
Dang.
Dang.
Love it. ChaseSimba.com.
Film Lover's website.